Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my Let's Play World of Warcraft on Wednesdays. So this is the final Auchindoun instance. This is the highest level one. It's a Shadow Labyrinth. And it's actually, out of the four, the one that I actually remember the most, because I actually think that I ran this with our guild like a whole bunch of times, and I remember the final boss and wiping on it a ton and everything else. So the other ones I actually don't remember running as often. I mean, I know I did run them, but there was no familiarity in my memory of oh yeah, I remember this part. I remember this part. But in this one, I'm actually remembering parts of it. So I'm like, okay, that's interesting. So I'm having to you can talk to her and stuff, but yeah, the rest of these guys are stealthy, but you can't get quests from them. So we've got these quests, and I'm like, why are there question marks on them already? I didn't do them yet. Did I? That kind of threw me a little bit. And now I'm looking at, you can see one question mark up in the mini map. Up in the upper right, and I'm like, so how do I get there? Where is he? What the? This was one part I didn't remember about. I'm like, so where, what, who? And it's like, can you get through here? What's going on? And there's a hole in the wall, and then it's like, well, you can't get through the hole, unfortunately. I mean, she could totally easily slip in there, but the game doesn't let me. And I'm like, okay, I need to get to him. Okay, let's kill these guys and see if I can get any further along. As you can see, this kind of arch thing, arch pathway. I'm like, okay, so can I go behind these guys? But nope, there's a big solid wall there. So what the heck? How do I get there? Like, okay, well, there's this other thing here, so maybe I have to go that way? Well, this is called the Shadow Labyrinth after all, so they're making it somewhat labyrinthy. I skipped past a lot of these trash mobs here because there isn't a boss in this room, so there's really no point in taking out the trash mobs except for the ones that I've aggroed, which unfortunately I did aggro a bunch of them, all these Cabal familiars and all that stuff, but the other side of the room I ended up not aggroing, so I was able to sneak past part of them. But I'm actually surprised at how many I aggroed in this particular case, and I'm like, whoops. I keep trying to target, and then I end up picking stuff up, because I still have a habit of targeting with my mouse instead of using the tab key. I know, it's a noob thing that I shouldn't be doing anymore, but I don't know, it's something I used to do when I first started playing the game, and you know, someone told me, it's like, no, target with the tab key. And I know about it, but half the time I forget because I'm so used to doing it the other way. Even years and years later, I still have that problem. So I could take out Helmaw. And this is where I started to remember things. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember this part. I remember these fell overseers kicking our butts really badly, and when we started attacking these guys. I'm like, whoops. At first I thought I was going to sneak past and just try and take Helmaw out, but I forgot that you have to actually take out all of these guys doing whatever their spell is before you can take Helmaw out. He doesn't become attackable until these guys are all taken out, and you have to kill 12 of them anyway for one quest. So you know, it's like, might as well. These are, at this point, these are not trash mobs. They're, you know, they're actually I have to take them out in order to get the boss. And for a change, I've got an instance here where there isn't a heroic difference that I'm aware of, where I can't kill something that's not showing on the map because I'm not in heroic. I'm sure that the heroic version is just more difficult, or you know, drops better rewards, that kind of thing. So see here, I'm trying to attack him, but he's immune right now, and he's kind of like not all there. He's kind of like phased, partially phased out or something. You can kind of see through them a little bit. So I'm like, okay, fine, I'll kill the rest of these guys. Hopefully that will materialize so I can attack him. Yep, there he comes. And it's always interesting, these demons, they kind of have a big scary face in their stomach as well as having a head. And like, so which part is actually their head? Alright, so I killed him, and I'm like, wait, I gotta go this way. Oh, this way is open. Let's see if I can get to question mark guy. But I had to get past Helma first in order to get in here. Yep, there we go. Now we can get to him. So I complete the quest. Accept the next part of the quest. And pick up 5 soul devices. And I'm like, does he follow me? I wasn't sure if there was an escort piece to this, but there isn't. So it's just like, okay, just pick up soul devices. Alright, well, let's keep moving then. And we'll take out the next couple of bosses, and then finally the last boss, Murmur. I remember him being one of the toughest bosses I'd run a 5-man with at level with our guild. I think if I remember right, he dropped some really good stuff, which of course at my level it's not that good anymore, but it was really good stuff at the time, and so we kept running it, trying to make sure that everyone in the guild who wanted whatever the loot was, that we all got the pieces that we wanted out of it. Because I think it's like random different stuff. So depending, you know, kept having to rerun it until everyone kind of had everything they wanted. And at the time, again, I was obviously I was playing as a healer, so I always kind of stood back and watched and tried to keep the other guys from dying, specifically the tank, of course. And I remember it was a fairly long fight, but as you'll see with my solo, it's not so long anymore. But you know, you kind of take out all of these worshippers over here. These gals right here with the multiple arms, those are straight out of Tomb Raider. Absolutely straight out of Tomb Raider. I think the first time I ever saw one was you ended up going in a dungeon or a tomb or something, and I'm like, yeah, those are straight out of Tomb Raider. So there's a lot of popular culture that has been kind of integrated into World of Warcraft. I always love seeing that. I think there's one section of quests in this sort of kind of Egyptian type area that was added. I think it was added with Cataclysm, and there's like an Indiana Jones kind of a thing. And the funny thing is that, you know, it's not Indiana Jones, it's Harrison Jones, you know, so Harrison Ford, Indiana Jones. So definitely the Harrison Jones character in World of Warcraft is very much an allusion to Indiana Jones, because you're helping him raid tombs and find artifacts and that kind of thing. It's actually a fun little quest chain, but obviously I'm not including that in my series because it's not a dungeon run. Can only do, you know, so much stuff in the game, and I thought that the dungeon run series would be an interesting series to do, because that way it allows me to just kind of play the game itself however I want, and I don't necessarily have to record everything I'm doing in the game, but I can still kind of take a break and do these little dungeon runs. Alright, so we got that boss out of the way. And at first I was like, okay, there's, I only got 4 of the 5 soul devices, so I'm hoping there's more in the next area. That's one thing I didn't remember, is like, did you have to get them from there? If you look at the map, it only shows them in that one chamber, but I was like, well, I hope there's more, because there were no others in that chamber, so. Another one of those Tomb Raider multi-arm beasts, and yep, there's another soul device. Yay! Alright, got that quest completed. So I keep missing things in these, and I like don't always get all the quests completed because I miss something for whatever reason. All right, get rid of her. Do we have to get rid of these guys? I don't think they do, but I guess I just decided to anyway. I felt like it. Moving on. Going down the corridor, and there's one more boss before the big Murmur boss, so. Oh, yes. There's Grandmaster Vorpal, and then there's Murmur. Oops. Oh, yes. And I remember these guys, too. You get too close to skeletons in this area, and they kind of come to life and attack you. So there's the whole mound of bones on the one side. If I stepped on it, all those skeletons would come to life and swarm me and stuff. So I'm just kind of avoiding that area. I don't, you know, actually if you walk too close, and you could aggro them as well. I did end up aggroing these guys just because I ended up attacking some people close enough to them, so that kind of did the aggro. But thankfully they're not that difficult anymore. Yeah, oh, there's the codec that I'm looking for. There's another part of the quest. I gotta get rid of all these cultists first. I just love how the boss is just kind of standing up there. He's obviously looking this way. He's probably seeing what's happening. And he's just standing there, and he continues to lecture on whatever he's lecturing on, and that's it. So first we'll do the quest thing. Alright, and then just for everyone's edification, I'm just kind of scrolling through here. If you want to read this in detail, it kind of gives you some background on Murmur, and I think back if you're doing this at level, understanding what the codex tells you helps you in the actual fight with Murmur, because he goes through several different phases, and if you don't know how to handle each phase properly, you could die. So feel free to pause and read that if you're interested. In the meantime, I guess I could actually just run right past this guy and not take him out if I, you know, because he's just not coming after me whatsoever. But I was like, might as well take him out. He is a boss after all. Alright, and now on to the final boss, Mr. Murmur. Well, Mr. is a bit of a misnomer there, since he's a big old... He looks a lot like Ragnaros, but in kind of wind and ice and stuff. See what he looks like there? He reminds me a lot of Ragnaros, but kind of like air and water and stuff instead. Alright. I'm just gonna get through and gonna have to clear out this room. And what's interesting is that all of these Cabal guys are actually fighting Murmur right now. They're trying to keep him at bay or something like that, and Murmur is attacking them. So you can actually come up to these guys and they won't attack you unless you attack them first. But you still have to get rid of them in order to attack Murmur, because otherwise they'll start attacking you anyway. And at level, you don't want to attack a boss like this and then have all these guys attacking you at the same time. You're going to wipe very easily that way if you're at level. Alright, so get rid of the last guys here. And now on to Murmur himself. And they had already, you notice that they've already taken down his health level quite a bit. So now, I just gotta take him down the rest of the way. And there he goes. That's revenge for all the times I've been in a wipe in this dungeon. Alright, so now I gotta run back, and I cut out some of that footage, because you know, no need to see me run all the way back. Alright, so here we go. And I'm just gonna turn in these quests, and then we're pretty much done with this. So the next set of dungeons that I'm going to do are going to be the Caverns of Time. So I'm actually have to go away from the Outlands, go back to Azeroth, down to Tanarus to find the Caverns of Time and start running those, because that's the kind of the next group of dungeons that are in the sequence. At least one of them is, and then, like I said, I keep going to each group and stuff. But anyway, thanks for joining me. Until next week, take care. Bye-bye.